Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, May 5th, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. An M2.1 solar flare has flung off a coronal mass ejection, which is headed towards Earth, albeit a glancing blow, but the telemetry is showing we could get to KP6 or higher by May 8th. And we'll have more updates on that in a moment. The big story is AccuWeather forecasters pinpoint multiple severe weather risks in the central U.S. Keep calm. It's boom time. And that region includes Texas, the nexus of the Schmexis, as severe weather rolls through parts of central Texas. Scattered storms have already started developing in parts of the hill country. Isolated to scattered storms will continue developing as we head into the evening. Roughly 40% of central Texas will get rain. It's insane. Severe risk returns Saturday for Oklahoma. KOCO5 Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane shows when you can expect severe storms in your area this weekend. You just click on the links below and get the full forecast. More storms are expected this weekend across Oklahoma following Thursday's weather that prompted a tornado watch and resulted in flooding in parts of the state. So we have a severe risk returning for the weekend. And severe storms are also possible as Kansas City to see summer-like heat for the first time this year. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible Friday in Kansas City, although severe weather is not expected. The National Weather Service said severe weather is possible over the weekend, along with the first summer-like heat of the year. So stay clear of Kansas. And if you're already in Kansas, it's okay because there's no fires like Alberta. Alberta wildfires forced thousands from homes. There are nearly 80 fires burning in the Canadian province of Alberta, and officials say it's extremely early in the season, but they're about to get obliterated by snow. Ho, ho. So hopefully we could quench some of the fires.
There were close to 80 active wildfires in Alberta, Canada as of early Friday, with 19 burning out of control in hot and windy conditions. The Omega blocking pattern, which has also impacted weather in the U.S., has blocked the fire-stricken areas from getting precip. Underneath that area of high pressure, the air sinks and warms. Temperature.
Now, they renamed that. So let's go see what they renamed the meridional flow here.
Blocked the fire-stricken areas from getting precip. Underneath that area of high pressure, the air sinks and warms. The Omega blocking pattern, which
Okay, so the omega blocking pattern, because it forms an omega shape, is a new term for meridional flow, which we've known for decades, and they've now renamed it to omega pattern. This is what happens during grand solar minimum. This is the deepest expression we've seen since the inception in 2012, where we literally have tropical moisture going all the way up almost to the North Pole. That is what spring and fall bring. Ding, ding. And we're headed to El Nino. So these types of patterns where it's colder in Florida than it is in the Arctic Circle will continue as the pattern continues.
Which has also impacted weather in the U.S., has blocked the fire-stricken areas from getting precip. Underneath that area of high pressure, the air sinks and warms. Temperatures have been 10 to 15 degrees above average to kick off the month. The combination of the heat being turned up, along with increasing winds and dried out vegetation, can lead to higher intensity fires. Rain is in the forecast for the weekend, along with cooler temperatures, but firefighters are still going to be busy. Spring wildfires, they're not uncommon in Alberta, but local forecasters say it's rare to see this happening so early.
They're just fear-mongering here. We see thousands, tens of thousands of wildfires in the United States every fire season, which begins now. And these fires will be put out, but they are significant because they are some of the earliest significant fires, with over 80 alone in Alberta. You're going to see 3 or 4 in Saskatchewan. They're showing 12 in the 3 or 4 that look significant, but let's just play it through for you. And this is the smoke map coming for all of North America. Okay. All right, we had to just refresh that. And you can see the massive amounts of smoke. This is a map of, so you can see some small fires here in the southeast. Nothing in the west, but look at Canada. Let's refresh that. Let's go back at least. Here is, right now, May 5th. Here's the 6th. Here is the smoke map. Moving through the 6th and into May 7th. 6 p.m., 8 p.m., May 6th. And now we're at the 7th in the morning. You can see how big these fires are. There's several major fire fronts. Now, the good news is that all this smoke is moving up to Canada. Here we are, again, on the 5th, moving through the 6th, and then hitting the 7th. I'll leave you links below so you can monitor smoke if you're in northern Canada. But there are very few people up in this region. So the reason that these fires don't get reported on is simply because they're in the middle of nowhere. They have no impact on humanity, and we need to burn the forests to keep them healthy, to reseed, and to plant new seedlings. Full forecast now. Unsettled west, summer-like heat and severe storms in the plains. It's insane. An active weather pattern in the west will bring locally heavy rain to lower elevations and locally heavy snow in higher elevations. Hello. As these systems interact with the building heat and humidity in the plains, severe storms may develop. Primary threats from these storms will be large hail, damaging winds, and potentially isolated tornadoes. Dry, gusty winds in the southwest are keeping fire weather threats critical, and we just watched the fire weather threats in Alberta. Let's take a look at that precipitation and the severe weather threat. Move it through Monday. Holy macaroni, that's too far forward. Let's go way back. Let's go in the Wayback Machine. All right, here we are Saturday. That severe weather developing in Nebraska. I didn't pick up any articles there. Let's pause that and go back there in the GFS. Yeah, we can see some maybe South Dakota and Nebraska severe weather exploding in the morning on Saturday. And also in eastern Texas, the nexus of the Schmexis. That threat will move to Louisiana and up into northern South Dakota by midday Saturday, May 6th. Holy macaroni. So stay tuned for more boom. And then we have a severe weather threat moving into Minnesota. Say it ain't soda, while severe weather threats continue in the northern tier of Texas, the nexus of the Schmexis, as all that power moves east like a beast. Let's take a look at the snowfall totals, shall we? And move it through day by day. Here's your Saturday through Sunday morning. We're going to be picking up at least 16 inches of snow in the highest elevations near Tahoe, and heavy snow in northern Montana, as well as all of the high peaks of the Rockies. Here is Sunday through Monday morning into Tuesday morning. More snow will pile up in the Rockies. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is the big day. Friday and Saturday is the big day for Colorado. Take a look at this. Starting Thursday into Friday, into Saturday, we're looking at a huge total at the high elevations, moving all the way down into New Mexico through mid-May. Hey. And let's move these models out through the rest of the month. Almost nothing happening. So it's hello. We could be seeing some significant snow coming into eastern Canada for the end of May, with a second system hitting the southern Rockies again at the same time. This is epic, and we will continue to monitor it for you. Now, the reason the global warming alarmists can get away with this is because they're following the pocket of heat. What we're looking at here is the thermodynamics map based on temperature anomaly. Now, what that means is the departure from normal. So you can see the entire West, as of now, well below normal, 12 to 16 degrees below normal, but they're going to follow the heat wave right here and up through the Central Plains here and maybe the northern tier, and that's what they write their articles about. No one's going to be writing about the record cold on Saturday, May 6th in the West, where it's going to be 16 to 20 degrees below normal throughout all of Nevada and California. Not a single article will come about that. They're going to tell about the blazing heat in Oklahoma and Kansas. Mark my words. Yep, and it's going to stay there through Sunday. Kansas is going to have some record-breaking heat articles because the global warming is real. But in fact, it's just this small area in the center of the country. The rest of the United States is well below normal, even the entire East Coast, all the way down into Florida. Take a look at the West here. 12 to 16 degrees below normal. Holy macaroni. And it's just not North America. All over the world, below normal temperatures have been expressed for the last 5 years. Cold snap to sweep Australia's southeast, with temperatures set to drop up to 8°C below average. That's below normal. That's ridiculous. That's 15 degrees Fahrenheit below normal. Wow. Rain brand will bring showers for Sydney and Melbourne, while snowfalls are forecast across the alpine regions of Tasmania and Victoria. Holy macaroni. Seismic update. Getting jiggy in the U.S. What are we looking at? Frackquake, White City. That means they're pumping toxic waste deep into the earth there. Some activity on the southern San Andreas, 2.7 in Octillo Wells. We do have a quake of note here, kicked off about 24 hours ago, right after we ended last night's show, a 6.2 in Honshu, Japan. And in fact, it did cause some damage. 1 death, my goodness, 13 injured. Government spokesperson Hirokazu Matsuuno said that there were reports of other damaged buildings, but details are still being confirmed and sketchy. Here we can see a house crushed and a car crushed by the house. Holy macaroni. No other quakes of note as we keep a close eye on seismicity because we're honing in on Iceland because of that slight uptick yesterday that we reported on here. Boom. This uptick here was at Katla volcano, and then we had a secondary uptick here on the tip of the Reykjanes Peninsula. All is quiet as things have moved into a quiet range, so we don't have any threat from the volcanoes in Iceland at any time soon. We will report on it if we do, so stay tuned for the Iceland boom. Worldwide volcano news update. Not much going on. We've got some spectacular activity from Popo, puffing to 22, 23, and 26,000 feet today. So spectacular activity coming from Popo. But Liwotolol also puffing and passing, as well as Cotopaxi in Ecuador. Near frequent ash emissions persist as it's looking pretty epic there. Now there's the boom coming at us from the M2.1 solar flare. Just happened about 24 hours ago. And you can see it will be making maybe a marginal impact on Earth right there. Boom. Yeah, that's on the 8th. And let's talk about it. The Discover spacecraft just detected what appears to be a minor shock passage within the past half hour. That could be from a CME from days before the one we just reported on. We can see the aurora lighting up here in the aurora forecast. Good news. Get out and look up, especially if you're in Canada. We're going to see some good shows tonight as the KP index increases. We've basically been in KP 2 to 0 in the last 48 hours of powers, actually even longer than that, probably 72 hours, which is why we've seen an increase in the persistent contrails from planes. Those are not chemtrails. Those are forced from outside of the Earth due to cosmic rays. Yes, that's a new phenomenon. And now we can see the KP picking up. It's supposed to go way up in the coming days, all the way up to KP6. We could see KP7, depending on how the coronal hole and these CMEs all line up and their magnetic points. So we could be getting some amazing auroras by May 8th, which, by the way, is Monday. Fun day for auroras. Now let's take a look at the WSA Enlil solar wind prediction, or the WSA Enlil spiral, which is showing that CME coming off. Here we can see the accentuated space weather we're having now, and then the impact late on the 7th, early on the 8th. Boom! As that coronal mass ejection passes Earth. The International Space Station is hiding its mind-blowing photo as it passes the sun. Can you spot it? There's the sun. Where is the space station? I'll give you a minute. 60, 59. Well, actually, it's right there. You can see the two satellites, and you can see the satellite and the two solar arrays making up the shot. And we'll blow it up for you here, where you can probably get a better idea of what that actually looks like. There is the space station right there. It's happened to be going right through a sunspot there, and it like blended in. It looked like an active region, for goodness sakes. But there is that satellite, the International Space Station, hiding in plain sight as it traverses the sun. Now, this is nowhere near the sun, which is why it looks so big. This sunspot is 4 Earth diameters. This satellite is not a single Earth diameter. It's like 80 feet wide, maybe. So this is much closer than that sunspot, period. 4 moons circling Uranus may be sopping wet, and that sounds really gay or sexual, but it's not. Several of the largest moons orbiting the ice giant probably have an ocean layer, according to new research, and they're not gay, but they are at a weird angle, and they are not supposed to be in our solar system. Are we racist? Well, we're just bigots when it comes to planets, especially the gas giants. For the first time, scientists confirm the moon has a solid iron heart, just like Earth. They're also claiming in this paper that it has a liquid outer core. Holy macaroni, where have I heard that story before for the last 50 years in textbooks that are all wrong? Wow, on Earth. Wow, they're just perpetuating this nonsense out into the solar system, and it's just recently hit the moon like a boom. How to view the lunar eclipse? Well, let me walk you through it. You get up, you stand your fat ass up off the couch, you walk towards the door, you open it up, you go outside, it's nighttime, maybe before midnight, and you go out because there's some weird light that's annoying you through the window, and you go look at it, and guess what? It's the moon, like a boom. Now, this full moon tonight is a special one. It's the May flower moon. It's also the leaf budding moon, as well as the planting moon. Holy macaroni, this has a lot of connotations. When you see this full moon in May, you better put the seeds in the ground because the leaves are budding out. So this is all historical, ancient knowledge that we are still keeping on today, yet very few people. Let's say we have 400 million people in the United States. Very few people are informed about what's going on around them. Most of the people live in cities. They can't even see a star, let alone a meteor. Why would they care about the moon? That's my question. Well, because they're about to be eaten by the people in the city they live in. Higher food bills. Your veggies, nuts, and berries may cost more thanks to extreme weather. That's according to this sharticle from the USA Today. Yeah, how about the administration that has totally fucked us over and destroyed the supply chain, eliminated our sovereignty in producing our own energy in our own country? That's not democracy. That's idiocracy. The administration that's running North America, or America, whatever you want to call it, is illegitimate. They're letting millions of migrants flow through the border. They've cut down our energy independence, and we're now buying gas and oil from countries that want to kill us. That's what's happening. If you're that stupid to vote for the left currently, the woke is the joke, and you're a part of it. Period. 5 contractors hospitalized after Shell chemical plant fire in Deer Park. Holy macaroni. This is like the 857,000th fire in an industrial complex in the last 2 years. We've got train derailments. Oh, and this one is at a chemical plant. Wow. I wonder how much insurance. These companies are making billions of dollars on insurance while they claim that they're being and gibble gobbledygook. And that is a boom, but we still have one more horrific story. A Google engineer, 31, dies after jumping from the 14th floor of the company's New York City headquarters. This is the 857th suicide by elites in the last few years, since 9/11. Executives are jumping out of windows like never before. Why is that? Well, humanity doesn't understand that they are slaves and they are a slave race. So you get to the top and you lose your 401k and you slit your throat or jump out of a building. The only problem is that none of these things matter to your health and happiness. Money does not equal happiness. Not a single millionaire or billionaire that I know is happy because they have money. They're all miserable, stupid fucks. Trust me. You don't want to be one of them. Learn how to be happy with a nickel, a whittling knife, and a fishing rod. Go out in the woods, do some Shinrin Yoku, and realize why you are human. It has nothing to do with multinational corporations and vanity, by the way. And that's a boom to knowledge. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with like-minded people. Share this with woke fucktards. I don't care. YouTube has shadow banned us for 3 years. We used to get 1,000 subscribers a month, and now we can barely get 100. It's not because of the content. It's because of the assholes behind the veil, and you know who they are. Yeah, fuck you, Wojcicki.